Summary: Parliament to vote around 1900 GMT alters party emergency legislation. The rebels want to ban legal appeals through the Rwanda Plan. London, December 12. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak faces the largest parliamentary test of premiers. Premiere on Tuesday, when MPs voted for asylum seekers' plan to live in Rwanda. On other hand, the altar accepted a new agreement with Rwanda and brought an emergency legislation to invalidate local and international human rights law. The movement deeply divided its party and right-wing politicians who claim to have not gone further than both moderates and enough to violate Britain's human rights obligations. Simon Clarke, BBC Radio told, "We believe that the best solution here should pause the legislation today. We must return with a new bill," said. For 13 years in power and the opposition Labour Party followed about 20 points in front of an expected election next year. The Altar's Conservatives have broken along more than one line and lost most of its disciplines. MPs on the right, deputies who do not say whether they are abstaining or vote against the draft law, want to prohibit asylum seekers from having any legal path to appeal against deportation. Young Minister Michael Tominson, responsible for illegal migration policy, said it would not comply with British values. "We did not close the allegations to court even during the Second World War," BBC told Radio.Said. Governments around the world are struggling with increasing migration levels and some follow their plan to see if the British will work. The British Parliament will first vote for the law on Tuesday evening. Voting for the opposition parties to defeat the name would take only 30 Conservative Parliament members. Even if it is passed, Altar will probably face changes later stages and attempts to encounter opposition in Unleaded Upper Chamber House of Lords. The defeat would be a great shame for the Altar since 1986. No government has voted in this early stage of the parliamentary process, and he would seriously weaken his authority on his party. More centralist deputies, as long as legislation is hardly hardened, said that they would support it on Tuesday. To convince the last trench to support bill on Tuesday, hosted some deputies for breakfast. The Altar is fifth Conservative Prime Minister of England in 7 years after Game leaving European Union and polarized country's politics, and has repeatedly led to stability. In the war, there were repercussions of parliamentary demonstrations on Brexit between 201,719. Then Prime Minister Theresa May experienced defeats repeated after rebellions by many Conservative politicians and eventually led to their exit. The Altar made it one of the biggest priorities to stop the boat maps. This year, approximately 29,000 asylum seekers came, one-third compared to last year. The majority of immigrants legally enters in other ways. However, view small swelling boots passing channel continues to be